Girls, what are the most obvious hints you've ever given a guy and he didn't get it? Story 1. Well, I'm a guy, but a girl I had known for a couple months invited me out for her birthday with 3 of her other friends. She spent more time with me the whole night than with anyone else, even when we ended up in the hospital until 3 a.m. She invited me over to her house to cook for me about a month or so later. We had been out alone a few times at this point, but this was the first time in her house, and I developed feelings for her. We ended up just ordering pizza and talking about my fear of relationships and putting myself out there most of the night, and the conversation continued while she walked me to the train station. She spent the whole time telling me, "Don't be afraid, you won't know unless you try," and I need to put myself out there. Then, right before I said goodbye, we had this weird moment where we just stared at each other for a few seconds, then I walked onto the platform. Went out to a movie a few days later. I had the intention of telling her how I felt, but I still didn't believe she felt the same. She was very physical with me the whole night and kept grabbing my arm whenever we were walking anywhere. I still had no clue whatsoever she felt the same way I did, and whenever she would grab my arm or be physical in any way, I would literally think to myself, why is she doing that? She never does that. This is weird. At no point connecting the dots. Anyway, we've been dating for 1.5 years now. Wait, what happened? She had an allergic reaction to something that caused really bad skin breakouts, but we don't know what. She's had it before, had it since then while she was working abroad for 4 months. Still don't know what it is. She's been allergy tested multiple times, and we still don't know. That was actually another signal that she had some kind of affinity for me, because when she could feel it starting, she went into a McDonald's ladies' room and wrapped a scarf around her face before it got really bad because she didn't want people seeing what her face was looking like. Then when we were alone together, she took it off completely unprompted, which I guess means she was already getting rather comfortable around me despite knowing me the least amount of time. Thank heavens, if this story didn't have the cutesy little "anyway we've been dating" moment, I was going to scream. This comment would have just been 30 seconds of me screaming in frustration, and I doubt many of you would have minded because all of you would have been screaming too. But seriously, I'm really happy to hear things worked out and that something she did finally broke through to you. It can be hard to see those things in the moment, especially when you're struggling with self-doubt. Story 2. I'm a guy, but years ago I was in a play with a big mixed cast. Over time I developed a crush on one of the girls in the cast and a friendship with another girl in the cast. The girl I was friends with would always give me rides to rehearsal, playfully box/touch me, initiate deep conversations, and so on. In retrospect, it was clear that she liked me. Though I really liked her as a friend, I didn't see her romantically and was busy secretly pining for my other crush. As such, I didn't really see or choose to see her clear hints as hints. At the play's after party, I ended up hooking up with my crush. I excitedly told my friend, and bless her heart, she put on a face of being supportive and happy for me. All the same, I got the sense that she seemed sort of upset and embarrassed. That's when the penny dropped and I realized she'd been dropping so many hints that she liked me. I felt terrible looking back at this. Ideally, I should have recognized the signs and either let her down gently beforehand or given her a shot, as we probably would have lasted a lot longer together than I eventually did with the girl I was crushing on. Still, life goes on and I try to be more open about my feelings for people early on. Put on the face, what a solid friend. I feel hella bad for her. She was a total sweetheart. We drifted apart after that play. Oh man, you didn't realize that you were in a classic romantic comedy and turned it into a tragedy. But hey, you can't get hung up on the what-ifs of life, and instead just look forward to the what-could-bes. Also, how are we 2 stories into something that specifically requested women and we've only had men thus far? I swear, this site has a real problem with obligatory not blank, but... Story 3. I got one that makes me bang my head against the wall whenever I think about it. Was 17 then. One of my female friends was hosting a massive party in her garden. Also massive, fit 20 tents and still had space. And very kindly invited me to it and said I could have a +2. So of course I take 2 of my best mates, buy alcohol to last us the next 16 hours, and we walk down the canal for 50 minutes to get to her house. It starts off normal, welcoming everyone, small talk. This swiftly escalated to shotguns and endless chugs. A couple of hours in, everyone is wasted as hell, and a galley, one of the hotties to my surprise, comes to sit on my lap. We flirt, laugh, and whatnot, the usual. At one point she says that she desperately needs the toilet and she needs help. I was dumbfounded as to why she needed help at the toilet, so I politely declined and insisted she go solo. She wouldn't even make eye contact with me a year after that. At least my buddies and I still laugh about it to this day, but hell, sometimes it does make me wonder, what if I wasn't such a tool? Syphilis, probably. 3 out of 3 stories, all guys. I mean, it's fine, but like, come on. This thread was a call for the ladies to share their stories. I swear, this is getting ridiculous. Story 4. Guy here. God damn it! For F's sake. This conversation happened on the phone. Her. I was thinking of watching this movie. Want to come? Sure, who else is coming? No, just the 2 of us. That won't be fun. Let's ask so-and-so. They won't come. They don't like me. Let's just with the 2 of us. Don't worry, I will convince them. I have booked the tickets for 2 online. That's okay. They'll get their own tickets. It's house full. There are no more tickets. Checking for the tickets online. No, there are some seats. Maybe someone canceled. I won't go with them. You shouldn't let other people affect your decision. If they say something, I will shut them up. Never mind, I'm not in the mood for the movie anymore. I realized this when I was watching the same movie on TV, and it suddenly hit me. This is the first one to actually make me laugh out loud. All I can say is I do stuff like this too. Story 5. I sat on a male friend's lap and told him you should kiss me, and he thought I was joking. I thought at first I'd been reading him wrong. We'd been pretty touchy with one another for a while, but I'm also pretty touchy with my friends in general, so I figured he might have just been following my lead. And he was just being gentle and turning me down, so I backed off after that. But no, he did like me. He was just that oblivious. Edit. We did end up dating for a while after this, and he admitted to me that he flat out didn't realize I was flirting with him. I had to sit him down and tell him that 1, I was into him, and 2, I would like to go on a date and grab a coffee or something. We're still friends, and he still brings it up pretty regularly when we talk because he thinks it's hilarious that he missed those signs. Some of us guys can find it hard to believe that a girl we like is all over us. At least I do with my intense confidence issues. Seriously, a girl could walk into my bedroom stark naked, climb into my bed, and start making out with me, and my first thought would probably be, oh man, either this is the weirdest prank ever or this girl is completely wasted and walked into the wrong room. I better shut this down before I get in trouble. Holy crap, I almost don't remember the story. I'm just still laughing in my head that it took us 5 stories before we actually had a woman respond. Anyway, yeah, I'm sorry. I consider myself decently oblivious, but if a woman sits on my lap and says, you should kiss me, I'm taking the hint. I say this because in high school, awkward me had something similar happen, and let me just say, opportunity not missed. Please like and subscribe if you've made it this far. I hope you'll enjoy the rest of the video and have a wonderful day. Story 6, guy here. We both were a little wasted, both 17 years old, having fun at a party. We wanted to open another bottle of wine, but the pen was broken. Yes, we pushed the stopper in it. So one girl offered to go to the nearest store. I want you to go with me. Let's get a pen. It was cold outside. She came out without a coat and a thin dress, so I offered her mine. I was in a sweater, she was in my coat, saying, "Thank you, dear," with a chilled expression and approaching my face, slightly closing eyes and opening her mouth. I said, "You are welcome. So, where is the nearest store?" She was so mad off and embarrassed after it, she blocked and ignored me everywhere. God damn, I understood her intentions a month after it. A girl asked me to dance at a party, and I was like, "Sorry, I'm not that wasted." She slapped me and stormed off. My friends asked what happened, and I explained. Apparently everyone understood I meant she was too ugly or something, but I only meant that I can't dance unless I'm very wasted. I was advised not to go after her. You know, dude, there is no other way she could understand it other than, "You look like Chupacabra." Story 7. We went on 4 dates before he realized that they were dates and not just 2 friends going out for the evening. Honestly, if I'm out with you and you don't make it perfectly clear it's a date, I'm gonna see you as a friend and nothing else. I'm, and most guys are, super afraid of being a creep or something like that. Be bluntly direct, because if you don't, most of us will be oblivious. We thought you might be into us, but we won't make a move until we're 100% certain. Damn straight, even in certain contexts, the concept of just treat women like everybody else doesn't work for men sometimes, because the women might expect any given man interacting with her to be a creep. Example, D&D groups or gaming conventions. But outside those contexts, men have to go out of our way to not be creeps sometimes. Not always, but some women can be paranoid. Then you add a layer of anything intimate to the mix at all, and our potential word choice and body language becomes a minefield. Granted, a bar probably has a lot fewer mines than a gaming convention. Most places are somewhere between the two. My point is that women need to just outright say if they're interested. It's too easy for us to be creeps otherwise. I'll also add, guys, it also doesn't hurt for you to just ask. Yes, it absolutely can be awkward and can make things weird sometimes. This is not a gambit without risks. But if you are definitely interested in dating, but waiting for the woman to go, I am interested in you romantically, guess what? They might also be nervous. So if you feel like there are signals and are interested, try saying, hey, is this a date? Or would you like to try going on a date sometime? Risky? Sure. But no risk, no reward. But also, yeah, ladies, you can do this too. Story 8. I think the common theme here is people suck at communicating interest and too much of dating is ambiguous. A girl I liked forever ago just couldn't understand how much I liked her, told her repeatedly, and spent all my free time with her. I knew I wanted to spend the rest of my life with her the first time I saw her, but I truly had to fight through her lack of self-confidence. She couldn't understand why I'd be attracted to her, which I have always thought she was stunning. Took a couple years, and her mother/family told her repeatedly that I was crazy about her. Anyway, we're in the 10th year of our relationship, 6 of which we've been married. She was, has been, and continues to be worth every bit of effort I put in and so much more. Good for you, man. I hope you both are happy. So far, so good. Thank you. Story 9. Guy here. No! Whatever. Few years ago, I was around 21 and just came out of a messy breakup of 5 years. I moved back with my parents and they were away for the weekend. My younger brother, 18, had some girls over and I walked in after finishing work, said hi, and went to my room to play some games with friends. 5 minutes later, one of his chick friends comes in and asks what I'm doing and sits on my bed. This chick was gorgeous and far out of my league. I said, nothing much, just about to play some games with my mates. Her reply was, oh cool, and walked out. Later that night, my brother was like, she wanted to frick you to cheer you up. I had no idea. How was I supposed to know that? She came into your room and sat on your bed. So did Uncle Fred last Tuesday. Did he want to frick me too? Maybe. r/cursed comments. First off, who is still calling women chicks? Are you a greaser or a jock from a movie in the 90s? And here I thought I was old and out of touch. Good lord. Second, someone sitting on your bed means absolutely nothing. I'm pretty sure if she was interested, she would have said literally anything more to try to entice you. Story 10. I once had a crush on a guy in a running group I was a part of. He was talking about a marathon prep guide that he'd found, and I asked him to send it to me in the hopes that he would ask for my number. He told me to Google it. Later, we were hanging out at a bar late at night, and he and I talked and flirted, or at least I did, for the whole night, but still nothing. Eventually, one day, we were sitting around after our run, and he started to leave, then walked back over and asked me for my number. After he got, I texted him, how come you didn't ask for my number before this? And he said, because I'm an idiot sometimes. We ended up dating for about a year and laughed about all the signs he'd missed. Yeah, those signals don't sound too obvious to me. I would have done exactly the same, except probably without ever giving you my number. Story 11. First date with my first boyfriend, my first year of college. He was walking me to my car from his dorm room. I was hoping to get his arm around me. Yes, we were that innocent, so I told him I was a little cold. So he offered to run back to the dorm to get me his coat. After I took his arm and put it around me, he figured it out. I still tease him after 15 years of marriage. Having a woman grab my arm and put it around herself would be a good signal to me. That should be the minimum. Be careful, though. She could be a polite Canadian. Please leave your story in the comments. I would love to make a video on them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.